Another day for recording. Hi, and welcome back. Thank you for everyone who's listening. Thank you for everyone who's responding for the questions. We'll get there. With every question, we'll get there. And thank you for also the support. It's a rainy day. It's Sunday, day 3 for doing this. And Sundays is for family and friends. And that is what has been today. Also in going to church. And so I have not introduced myself. I am Wanjiko Murigi, a counseling psychologist, human being, mother, sister, cousin, friend, and maybe even enemy to some people, depending on how we met, where we met, the paths that we have crossed. No judging. So, for the last 2 days, we've talked about Shim, who is affected by GBV, and today we'll talk about something very more sensitive. All right. So most of the time, most people who are affected by gender-based violence, there are children involved. All right. And the story I was giving you yesterday about did I get it across about the woman who had been stabbed by the husband? I hope I actually got it across. So when I was young, there was a woman who had been stabbed by the husband, and the chief had come, and the guy was being carried away. There were children involved. And when we're talking about gender-based violence, sometimes the reason as to why it is difficult for especially the woman, most of the times the woman to leave, and sometimes the men, it's because you're thinking about your children. And as we said, most of the times the person who's abusing you has an upper hand, and most of the times it is financially. So if they have an upper hand financially, what does that mean for you? That if it's Wanjiko, I may not be able to get away because how will I feed my children? How are we gonna pay for school fees? Feeding them, and especially if they were used to a certain kind of class, because yesterday we spoke about class. But then in staying with the abuser, with someone who's inflicting pain, are you spreading GBV? Are you stopping it? Are you really doing it for the children? And the reason as to why I ask this is because if the person who's hitting you, beating you, demeaning you is the man and you have a son, children learn by seeing most of the times, not really by what you see. It's about your actions. And what you're teaching this child on a day-to-day basis is, boy, you can hit any woman as you please. Boy, you can disrespect whomever who disagrees with you, including your own mother, right? And what you're telling your daughter is, my darling daughter, for any man who hits you, please stay with him. For any man who disrespects you, please stay with him. For anyone who treats you like the way your father is treating me, he's a man worth protecting. He's a man worth being with. And then what society says as we grow is that lineage is cast, because how comes all the children end up getting into abusive marriages? How comes all the boys are abusers or are being abused? How comes they never listen to their parents? Either the mom, if the mom is one who's been abused. But it's what we have taught them over and over again. And you're not teaching by saying, you're showing them what it means to be an animal to your partner in the house, and that you being an animal to your partner is how people should live, right? But really, is it worth you staying. I know it can be hard. I know it's a tough decision. I know when you're used to maybe a life in Runda, a life in Karen, and everything has been stripped away from you that you can't be able to make ends meet. You feel, how will I move my child from a private school to a public school? How will I move my child from being chauffeured all over to maybe sometimes taking a matatu, maybe sometimes walking? How can I move my children from eating sausage to maybe eating domangwashe? For me to tell them we cannot afford cornflakes, what you're going to have is ugali and tea for breakfast. But if there are things that I'm learning, with the loss of my mom in 2022, I believe that everything comes to an end. And sometimes it's important to choose, what is this important thing? And even the Bible says that riches have wings. They fly away. Wealth flies away. You have it today and then you don't have it tomorrow. Take even the rich man example. He said he filled his stock, his warehouses, and was like, now I can sleep and drink wine and just have an amazing time in life. But the guy did not